And I'm Christy Amsteds.
On this week's episode of Beyond the Whistle, we're bringing you some exciting events such as the NBA playoffs, NHL pre-playoffs, and a special guest from Boise State football. Because this is our last episode of the school year, we have a special guest for you guys, Boise State's very own wide receiver, Billy Bowens.
Woo! Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry I'm late. So,
yeah. You had to make a grand entrance.
Yes.
so many fans in the parking lot.
Yeah, the traffic was crazy. Well, welcome to the show.
Yes,
Thank
we're
you.
so excited
First
to
and
have you
only
on.
guest.
First and
Yeah,
only
so
guest
far.
of the season. Yeah.
First one, best one.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to get started a little bit here by talking about the NBA playoffs. There have been some really exciting games from the
Yeah.
Nets-Celtics series, and then Dallas, Utah was also a really good series.
Yeah,
so,
plenty of
Andrew,
good
you want to
games.
get us started?
Yeah, I think we could go into the Nets Celtics because last time on the show I expressed that I thought the Nets were going to go to the finals, but I did say that they were a wild card team. They could lose in the first round or go to the finals. I didn't expect them to get swept. But, the Celtics are legit, and now I think they have won my heart I think they're going to go to the finals.
Oh, that's so
I
sweet
do.
of you.
Yeah.
My Boston Celtics, we are not backing down to anything this season.
We got a tough matchup in Milwaukee coming up.
Absolutely. We kind of got a really tough playoff schedule, I think.
I mean, I don't think anybody has an easy playoff schedule.
No, but to
Yeah, the
have
East
to
is
go through
tough.
the Nets, who some people thought could go to the finals, and then are the reigning champions. So I think we've got a
Yeah.
tough road ahead.
Yeah, you guys will face the Bucks next, who I have picked to be in the finals in the East. I think that's going to be a really good matchup, fun to watch. Obviously, Giannis is a beast and is playing like a beast. But the Celtics look good. I mean, they swept the Nets.
It's
so-
also important to add Chris Middleton will be out
Yes.
for
Yes.
the second round against the Celtics, and he is like the wingman to
Yes,
Giannis. He's the
absolutely.
Robin to his
Yeah.
Very
Batman.
important.
So
Billy,
Yeah.
who do you have in your East finals?
I'm gonna have to go with Celtics now because
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that the team that loses, is losing to the best team. So I feel like the Nets are gonna win.
Yeah.
They lost to Celtics. Celtics
Yeah.
might take
Yeah.
it.
Interesting.
Absolutely. And the thing to note about the Celtics is we have a lot of depth. And I feel like we play more so as a team. Like, obviously, we have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, which are star players, but we also have people like Marcus Smart, who just won the Defensive Player of the Year. We are one of the best, if not the best, defensive teams in the league right now.
yeah,
We locked Kevin Durant to probably some of the worst basketball I've ever seen him play in his career.
he did not play
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. So I really think that as a team, we can go all the way.
yeah.
I don't think it's out of the
Well,
realm
I've
of
joined
possibility.
the bandwagon, so
Andrew,
you got me.
Andrew had to hop on.
Yeah.
Moving on, if we want to go to the Bulls, Bucks.
Yes.
So obviously
Well-
the Bucks won the series.
Yeah, the Bulls have kind of proved in the regular season that they weren't very good against the top teams in
Yeah.
the East. They're playing the Bucks, one of the better teams
Yeah.
in the whole NBA.
Right.
Not super surprised that they won 4-1, so
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I
think,
wasn't surprised.
Yeah, I think the Bulls are missing something, and who knows, they could pick it up this offseason and become one of those teams that competes to go to the finals in
Yeah.
the East every year. Not to say that they didn't have a good season. Obviously, DeMar DeRozan had an
Yeah.
amazing season, and just the pieces they were able to put together, just missing something this year.
Yep.
I will say I was surprised that they didn't get swept though. To even win that one game, I was pretty.
Yeah, I agree.
Pretty surprised
Well, the
with
one
that.
game that they did win was DeMar DeRozan just
Yeah.
going Kobe
Nuts.
and just willing his team
I mean,
to
he was
win.
a potential
so,
player that could have won the MVP
Yeah,
this year.
so
Absolutely.
that was cool.
He was my pick, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Hawks and the Heat. Yeah, that was my.
That was your wild card, right?
That was also my wild card pick, but the Hawks proved that they're a little bit undermatched.
Yeah.
Against the Miami Heat team that's really good defensively. They rely a lot on Trae Young.
Yeah.
He's a smaller guard, and they really.
I mean, I
Yeah.
watched that. I think it was the third game. There was the third game, and he just went absolutely crazy. He's a very talented player, and I think he's
Yeah.
going to go really far in this league. He just needs some more people surrounding him.
Yeah, and I think the Hawks are still a pretty young team.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just seeing how they'll develop in the coming years, will be fun to see, fun to
Yep.
watch.
And then the 76ers Raptors. I was surprised that they didn't go to Game 7.
I
was
agree.
thinking that the Raptors were going to
I thought they
push
were,
the 76ers
especially,
a little
was it
bit.
Game 6 in Toronto? Am I
I'm
mistaken?
not
was.
entirely sure.
Yeah, I think it was
It
in
was
Toronto.
in Toronto because it was going to go back to Philly for Game 7,
yeah.
and they whooped the Raptors
Yeah,
by like
a
40.
blowout
Yeah.
at home. I'm like, ooh, that's kind of embarrassing.
I'm sure Drake wasn't very happy about that one. Him
No.
and Embiid were kind of
No,
going at it a little bit
Yeah.
on the post game.
Yeah.
But I mean, we talked earlier after the trade between the Nets and the Sixers, like who won the trade and all this stuff. And I think it's easy to say like the Sixers probably
won.
at this point.
Yeah.
At this point, because
I wanted to circle back to that a little bit because there's been a lot of controversy over Ben Simmons, and I have to say I agree with the controversy. I think that he's a soft player. He's soft. I mean, to not play in a Game 4 like that when your team's about to get swept for a minor injury.
I'm wondering, like, as an athlete, like, what's your opinion on the injury versus playing versus?
Yeah, it's crazy you guys said that because we'll get into that too a little later.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's rough, and I don't want to spill all the beans right now.
Yeah.
Like I got my stuff
Yeah,
for that
yeah,
later,
yeah.
But, I
But
mean,
like, if
yeah,
your
it's-
team was in a playoff position where
Yeah.
there could potentially be getting swept, it's Game
Right.
4 on the line, and you have
Right.
a minor injury, are you playing or are you
everything I got, yeah,
Yeah.
everything I got.
And that's the mentality that I feel a lot of athletes lack today, especially in the NBA versus like prior NBA.
Yeah.
You know, you have when Magic Johnson and MJ and all of them were there, like the mentality was just winning. It doesn't matter.
I just want to say, I don't want Ben Simmons to just like ruin it forever because there are guys that like totally go all out and will play through
absolutely.
injury, and
Yes,
they're on
but
one
I
leg.
think-
Scotty Barnes, for example, is playing on one
but
leg.
I think in a generalization, most players don't do that. And maybe it's more management doesn't allow it as much anymore.
Well, I just think,
think
it's a different era, right? And we see like players resting and taking games off and stuff, and that's like something you didn't ever see in that era that you mentioned.
Yeah.
And I think Ben Simmons, unfortunately, is the face of that currently because of, I think, all of the drama that happened with the Sixers. And everyone was like, is he really injured? Like, what's happening there? Not going to practices?
Yeah.
Like, and so, unfortunately, he's become the face of it. But, yeah, I don't...
Yeah. I think in today's era, a lot of players are really focused on like expanding their careers, so that's why they rest a little bit more and they want to get as much money as they can.
Which
you
is
know?
reasonable.
So I understand that, but I do agree when it comes down to the playoffs, like or just crunch time, like you gotta put yourself out there, especially when he was projected to play.
Yes,
and
he
then it's like,
was.
okay, now our backs are against
To
the
be
wall.
fair, I don't think
and-
anyone thought it was going to go 4-0. But
Exactly, but if you have any chance, like as an athlete,
oh no, I'm
you should
playing
be out
if
there.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think of like what like the Kobe, the like Mamba mentality. He was like, I never don't want to like not play a game because like there could be a fan that's there for like their first time and like came to see me and like paid all this money, and so like he thought about like the fan experience, but like also helping his team. Like he wanted to do the most to help his team, and I just don't think like.
I just
Some
don't think
guys don't
players
have that
really have that
mentality
mentality
Right.
as much anymore. Even in the Last Dance, Michael Jordan, they were fighting him.
Yeah.
They were only giving him 7 minutes a game, and they were fighting him.
Yeah.
He was fighting them to get back onto the court, and I just don't think that's.
Yeah.
It's just not the same anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
Again, as 76ers Raptors, I thought that was going to go to 4 games.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, before we run out of time, we still got the
Yeah, we
Western.
got the-
We got the
oh my
Western
God,
Conference
you're
to
the
talk
host.
about.
Forget
so
about the Western Conference. I'm just
I think they're the better conference. Because I guess to start off, the Jazz and the Mavericks. That just ended last night.
Yep.
The Mavericks took it.
I thought that was the most evenly matched series of the whole playoffs.
Yeah.
And I really thought the Jazz were going to push it to game was insane last night. I thought the Jazz were going to push it to a game 7.
Well, the Jazz proved that they got to blow up that team because they were losing to the Mavs when Luka Doncic wasn't even there.
Yeah.
So they have consistently proven that they don't get it done in the playoffs with that core roster that they have. So
Yeah.
I think
I mean, you
with
can
that
also say that the Mavs also have more depth than most people originally thought.
But I think Well, I was gonna say, like, with that series too, like, people are really questioning Donovan Mitchell, and I'd love to hear like what you guys think about that. Is he like, should he stay the cornerstone of this team, or is he not, that MVP All-Star level? I mean, he's an All-Star, obviously, but like,
I think it doesn't fall as much on Donovan Mitchell's hands.
Yeah.
I think it's
I
just the
agree.
roster construction.
Yeah.
I think Rudy Gobert became a big liability, and he's like the second best player on that team. And if you
Right.
can't play your second best player, you got something wrong there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't think
needed-
it's totally on Donovan.
No,
No,
and you
I
can't
don't think so
expect
either.
one player to carry an entire team. I mean,
Yeah.
just the way that the NBA plays today, especially, it's not as possible as it was
Yeah.
Yeah.
in prior decades.
Another series that had a lot of drama, or has had a lot of drama.
Yes.
Timberwolves Grizzlies.
Yeah. Seriously.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's a fun one.
that's a fun one.
That's one of my favorite series to watch, actually.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of really young guys out there just going at it. Ja, Anthony Edwards,
Karl
Karl
Anthony
Anthony
Towns.
Towns.
I mean, John
Desmond
Morant,
Bane.
he's incredible. I have to say it, he's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Monster.
He's got that it
Monster.
factor.
Monster.
You
He
know,
does.
those guys that you just look at and you're like he has it.
He
has it.
He has it. So.
And in that last game, like Karl Anthony Towns, like doing the like shh, and
Yeah.
then like,
oh my God.
and then they come back. He celebrated too early. I was like, ooh, don't do that. That's embarrassing
yeah.
for you.
So for anyone that doesn't know, Memphis is up 3-2. So going to Game 6 as of right now, I think Memphis is gonna pull it out before they go to Game 7.
I think so,
they
too.
won't let it go to Game 7.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know.
I think I wouldn't be mad if it went to Game 7 because I think as sports fans we all love Game 7s
Yeah.
and to see how Ja would perform in a Game 7.
Yeah.
And obviously like Karl Anthony Towns on the other side would be super fun to watch, but I think they'll get it done.
I
Game
agree.
6.
And then Pelicans Suns.
Suns, yeah.
Suns took it. I thought
mean,
the
even
Pelicans were going to
without-
make a little run
Yeah,
and
I
beat
mean,
them,
without
honestly.
Devin Booker, obviously that is a huge loss for the Suns.
Yeah.
But they still have Chris Paul, who's arguably one of the best
Chris
point guards
Paul-
ever.
Chris
if
Paul
not-
had a really good last game too of that series.
He's kind of proven that he's like the best, like pure point
Pure
guard. Not
point
necessarily
guard.
like a Steph Curry or Kyrie that can just go get a bucket anywhere in the court, but like pure point guard, he's
I mean, and no
I
one
want
ever
more
really
revenue.
talks about it. He's pretty old now.
Well,
the
I
same
think
age as LeBron.
Yeah.
He's 37.
People have been talking about it.
I never hear
conversation.
the way that people talk about LeBron's career versus Chris Paul. Like, I think he's honestly, in a way, underrated.
I think it came
He
up a
is.
lot last offseason, and they were like, "Is Chris Paul going to come back? Is he going to retire?"
And he's
Like,
still
what's
playing at a very high level
he's balling.
basketball.
He's balling. Yeah. So, but I think we all knew CJ McCollum obviously like played really, really well for the Pelicans in that series. But I think we all knew the Suns were going to take that one.
Yeah, I mean, they were coming into the playoffs, the best team in the playoffs. So
Best team in the league.
Well,
all year.
they proved that they can win
But they're
without their
Oh,
second
yes.
best player, or if
Yeah.
Chris Paul's out, then Devin Booker's there. Like
Yeah.
they got a well-rounded team.
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
But
yeah.
I think they also proved the Pelicans proved that they're beatable. I mean, it wasn't a sweep.
Yeah.
So
They're a young team though, but they got a
Yes.
lot of promise. Think about
Yes.
they have Zion Williamson coming back.
Yeah.
If he can stay healthy, it's
And
a
lose-
dominant. Well,
Lose some pounds.
stop eating out so much in
I saw a picture of him and I was like, whoa!
New Orleans. The food's good down there. So, yeah,
down there.
apparently.
And then lastly, we have Nuggets Warriors. Obviously,
Yeah.
the Warriors took that one. Jordan Poole absolutely went off in that series and
Crazy.
proved to
Good
be
for him.
one of the most improved players in the league.
yeah, I agree.
From what I have been hearing, most, I guess, the the percentage most people think is going to be Celtics Warriors in the finals.
I could see that.
Interesting.
I
I
think
could
that's
see that.
actually going to happen.
Yeah. Which would be
If Devin
really
Booker
interesting.
isn't like playing, then
Yeah.
I
I
see
think
that.
even if Devin Booker's playing,
Really?
I'd still take
I mean, the Warriors are
Warriors.
playing some of the best basketball I've seen them
Yeah,
play in a
it's
while.
true.
So,
Yep.
yeah. So if we want to move on a little bit to NHL, one of my
Yeah.
favorite
Your
sports.
Ice's favorite.
I'm Canadian, so it like runs in my blood. So obviously the NHL is heading into the playoffs pretty soon here, and it has kind of been a whirlwind for, especially the Kings.
Yeah.
You and I, and
Yeah.
you actually are from Southern California area,
Yeah.
so I don't know unless. Are you a Kings fan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I
Yeah.
don't know because some people Anaheim.
Yeah.
No.
Are you Anaheim, or do you not really watch hockey
Yeah,
much?
I don't really watch it.
He's like, oh.
Well, I'm a Kraken fan, so I think we're one of the worst teams in the league. So
Yeah.
They were also one of the newest.
It is
We're
one of the
brand
newest.
new.
They're
It's the
not.
first
They
year.
didn't have
First
the
year.
whole Vegas luck thing in
I
that
know.
first
Well,
year.
that's what
but
actually-
that no one was expecting
Yeah.
that. So, but the Kings actually lost a few players. They were one of the better teams in the league in the middle of the season until they lost some of their best
Key
players
players.
and also some of their veterans, like
Yeah.
the guys who have been playing with them forever. Kopitar, Kempe, Brown, Edler, and a bunch of other players joined the list. So much so that they were forced to pull a bunch of kids out from the minor league,
Crazy.
from their minor league team, which is pretty wild. They had never played a NHL game before, and they actually managed to clinch the playoffs, which
And I think
honestly shows a very promising future.
Yeah,
for the
absolutely.
Kings.
And I think it's definitely rare, like, pulling them up, going right into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, that is super rare. And the fact that they're performing well is, like, awesome to see for the Kings.
I mean, I didn't think that they could do it. They started falling off towards the end of the season here. They started losing a few games in a row, and it was a little worrisome, but we did clinch, so that's really awesome.
Yeah.
We have the two best teams going into the playoffs right now, the Panthers and the Calgary Flames. The Panthers have a 58-17-6 record. They are easily the best team going into the playoffs right now. The Calgary Flames are also one of the best teams, finishing 50-20-11, and then the Avalanche have a better record than the Calgary Flames, but I think that the Flames are better than the Avalanche. They have a more depth on their team. They've been performing better. I'd say I would grade them higher, but the Avalanche do have a 56-18-7 record.
So who's your Stanley Cup Finals?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
Who's your matchup? Without being biased.
Stanley Cup.
Stanley Cup.
I don't
A big-ass
know.
cup.
Big cup.
Yeah,
Big trophy.
I don't know. I mean,
tough.
with the way that Florida's performed
Yeah.
in the season is really, really, like, impressive. However, I really think that the Maple Leafs are going to take them on that.
Okay.
And then I don't know. The Predators are all, I don't know.
She can't
know.
choose, everybody.
It's
The
amazing.
NHL's
choice.
hard because the
Yeah, no.
playoffs are a lot bigger and there's so
hard.
many more divisions too in the
Yeah.
NHL than
Yeah.
any other sport. So
No, I love hockey playoffs.
It's
I
the
don't
same
know.
structure than the NBA, though, right? It's 8
Yeah.
teams on each side that are of the
Yeah.
bracket.
Yeah.
Same structure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hockey mirrors basketball and
and it's
most
the
ways.
seasons almost run the same. I don't
Yeah.
know. I gotta say,
3, 2, 1, go.
I got Toronto. I got Toronto, and I think I got St. Louis again.
Okay.
Toronto, St. Louis.
We'll keep tabs on it. See if Alex is right, everybody.
There you go.
Oh God, that's a hard one.
Toronto and St. Louis.
Hockey's
She's
hard.
locking it in.
Yeah, but there's a few teams that are missing from the playoffs. Actually, is Anaheim, and San Jose, which is super not normal at all.
Yeah,
For those
no.
of you who know, I mean,
Those are-
Anaheim and San Jose probably are two teams that have like the most consistency
Yeah.
going into the playoffs, other than Boston and probably New
Right.
York. Actually, New
Yeah.
York kind of fell off for a few years. St. Louis probably is up there too.
Yeah,
the Blues
St.
are
Louis.
up there a lot, but yeah, I was really surprised to see that San Jose kind of fell off, and so did Anaheim.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested to see.
We'll be excited to see if Alex is right as
probably
we
not.
get into these NHL pre-playoffs. But let's move into a little bit of Boise State football
I
news.
know. We got Billy
We got
here.
Billy here.
He was probably bored during that hockey game, but it's okay. It's okay. Back in his
We're back in
realm.
his
all
realm,
good.
yeah, his world. So let's talk a little bit about spring season. Obviously, you were injured, but what was your biggest takeaways from the spring game?
It was fun. It was good to see all the younger guys. You know, spring is a time where younger guys can get their opportunities
Yeah.
to showcase, you know, what they have and what they do, and, you know, earn pretty much positions and stuff like that. So it was fun. I like it. Our defense plays well. Our offense plays well. You know, we're all just learning schemes together and learning how to gel as, you know, units and sides of the ball. So I was really impressed. I think we made a lot of improvement from last year for sure, and that's one of the biggest things we emphasized all spring and all winter. So I mean.
Are there any standout young players that you were pretty impressed with in that game?
Well, there's a lot. I mean, they're all impressive. Personally, Ashton Ginty, he's a running back, and
Yeah.
I really impressed with him. Just he's an athlete, he's a freak of nature.
Dude.
I really enjoyed
I've
watching
seen some
him.
of his film from spring practices, and I'm like, dang.
I played intramural basketball with him, and he's like a freak athlete. This dude is like a baby Zion. Like, he's crazy.
monster,
Yeah.
monster. Yeah.
Yeah.
So some people put a lot of weight on the spring game and others not. Where do you fall on the scale, and how do you think the spring game assesses kind of the success that you think you guys will have?
Yeah, I mean, the spring game is more for like fun, right? You got to think that's televised, it's open to the
Right.
public. You don't want to show too much. So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
really out there, base stuff, on both ends of the ball, just really out there, more entertain, get people used to playing in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. It's not really super, okay, the spring game is going to determine how.
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Right.
So it's like,
Like-
you take it once you realize and you know, it's like you take
Yeah.
it with a grain of salt almost. It's just more going out there like a little scrimmage on both ends.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't look too hard into teams, you know, spring games. They're more for
Right.
fun events. You know, we're out there kicking balls and doing, you know, having
Yeah.
alumni come back and some
Yeah.
just
Fun.
entertainment, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's really what that's all about.
Yeah.
Perfect. There was a lot of talk after the spring game about the quarterback situation.
I feel like you probably can't
Obviously,
answer this.
I know I'm not asking anything he
No,
can't
yeah,
answer.
right.
But it's pretty evident that like people are assuming Hank's going to be the starter going into the season. But what has impressed you about Taylor Green and Oregon State transfer Sam Didlock this
Just their
spring?
work ethic.
Yeah.
Right. Those are guys who are always trying to work. They're in the film room. They're out in the field throwing
Yeah.
extra, always asking me to throw extra. You know, I'm getting in with those guys.
Yeah.
You know, they're always trying to improve, and they learn a lot under Hank. You know, Hank
Yeah.
is a great mentor, a great leader. He's teaching them everything they need to know, so that way when he is finished, they can, you know, take the torch and be able to produce.
It's awesome.
Oh shoot, I had another question while you're talking, but then I forgot what I was going to ask. Oh well, we'll move on to the next question.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You wanna go
yeah,
ahead?
yeah. With Khalil, you know, obviously going to the NFL, how has things changed in the wide receiver room for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, that's huge. You know, a lot of people always ask who's going to be the next target, who's going to be the replacement and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But what they fail to realize is there's always 6 receivers that are
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
it's like, yes, we lost him, but that's very little change.
Yeah,
you know, he's
yeah.
obviously an outstanding player.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah.
my best friends, brothers.
Yeah.
He's about to get picked up. I mean, I'm so excited to
I
see
know,
him.
but
better.
maybe today.
Yeah.
I think
so.
today.
I think
Yeah.
second
Right.
round, honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's gonna be a
And there's been a
steal.
lot of receivers that have gone early in the
Right.
draft too.
Right.
I mean, back to back to back. We
Yeah, there were
had,
6 taken last
Garrett
night.
Wilson,
Yeah.
Chris
Yeah,
Olave,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Jamison Williams,
Crazy.
who all played at Ohio State together. Continue.
Yeah. So I mean, I've learned so much through
Yeah.
him. You know,
Yeah.
we've grown together. I just learning under guys like that. But then like it comes to we're ready. You know,
Yeah.
we've been stepping up, and you know, through spring, through all this time, we've all been gelling, getting that time
Yeah.
and that chemistry with the quarterbacks. So I mean, it's just those targets are just going to go other places, right?
Yeah.
You just take one guy out, you reload that gun, and then be ready to go.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh,
really
yeah.
how that works.
So I just want to reference. Obviously, last season didn't, I don't think, go the way that you guys had intended it to go.
Right.
So what kind of is has there been a mentality shift at all in the locker room and with coaches after last season?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. Like from day one, you got to think we got a whole almost 85%, 95% new staff. You
Yeah.
know
Yes,
what I mean?
right,
After
exactly.
after you know the other staff left, so it's like. And a first year head coach at that, you know, so
Right.
Yeah.
coach, you know everything, like anything new, a new position in life, a new job, any new
Yeah.
career,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to learn and work out the kinks, right?
Very
So
good.
Yeah.
last year was a learning year, and we still did well, you know,
yeah,
for,
absolutely.
you know, for some of the games,
Yeah.
you know, beating ranked opponents, going to their
BYU.
traveling on the road, doing
Yeah.
things like that. That just shows you the potential of the team,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Once
absolutely.
we start placing those pieces together
Yeah.
and gelling together like we've been doing since the December and that last
Yeah.
year, you know, a lot of adversity we faced and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just grows that team mentality, that team spirit, that culture. We're bringing all that back. This has been one of the best springs I've seen from, you know, our team in terms of offense and defense, and you know the competition level raising and the talent that we have. It's going to be a real fun year.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I'm
exciting. I think
excited.
all of us, and especially Bronco Nation, saw like a shift after the bye week. So like, what has continued from there to
Right.
this season and this spring?
Yeah, and that bye week just gave us some time during the season to step back, go back to the
Yeah.
drawing board and reflect. You know, a lot of people, you need that. Like I
Yeah.
said, new staff, new players. You know, we're still filling out the coaches. They're still filling us
Absolutely.
out. It's all of that. So like now that we have that understanding, that relationship, that time, and that experience together, we're going to be able to build things. We're already working on new things, and you know, stuff that our coach knows us now, right? And
Yeah.
know where
Yeah.
how we play best, when we play best, and playing
Yeah.
it together. You know, our team chemistry is just raising and growing, and I
Yeah.
love it. So.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so much as though you guys ever played bad. To me, it was always just finishing out those games, like
Yeah.
especially against
Right.
Oklahoma State.
A few of those home games in a
yeah.
row.
Yeah.
It was not like you guys played bad at all. It was just getting
Right.
through those games and finishing them out strong.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of just like those last 5 minutes that were killer.
And even like we talked about it on our first episode, we were doing like a recap of the football season,
Yeah.
and we mentioned like new coaching,
Yeah,
and
we
I'm
did.
sure like it wasn't
Yeah.
an easy process to
Right.
switch
Yeah.
a whole coaching staff and
Right.
getting used to each other.
Yeah.
So
And I had talked to Andrew at the time, who had told me that I had interviewed him for a class, and he had told me at the time that it was the same thing.
Yeah.
Coaching, we're just getting to feel each other out. I mean, some coaches
Yeah.
don't know how certain players perform their best
Right.
and all that. So just figuring out all those kinks.
And then one of the biggest things is we had a new coordinator as a whole.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so he comes in, we're still learning the offense. You got to
Yeah.
think, like,
Yeah.
all last year, we're learning. We're not even speaking the same football terminology
Right.
because it's
Yeah,
new. You know, we're
completely new
learning something
playbook,
different.
absolutely.
But now we have a whole year under our belt.
Yeah.
Now we can go up to the coach's office and we're all seeing the same stuff. We're
Yeah.
all speaking the same language. It's
Yeah.
a lot better, and we've taken steps in the right direction. I'm excited to see.
You're
where
feeling
we
more
go.
comfortable with that
Absolutely.
scheme. And
Yeah,
Absolutely.
as are
Awesome.
we.
I think
So if you want to go ahead and
the
if you have-
rapid fire questions.
Wait, we have one more question.
that's what I was saying.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're an offensive guy, but a lot of people have had concerns about the Broncos' defense because of the loss of key guys like Kaniho and Riley. What has keeping JL Skinner and Tyreek Jones meant to this team as a whole?
Those are two of the best players I've ever seen play together in my career.
Yeah.
The way they feed off of each other, they're both very high-level players. They're both older players, mature players, experienced players. When you put two players like that who have a dog mentality, who love to compete, who want to be
Oh,
the
yeah.
best,
Absolutely.
and they're competing with each other each and every day,
Yeah.
and then we have to go against that, so
Yeah.
if we don't bring it, it shows.
Yeah.
It just elevates the team standard,
Yeah.
and that team, you know, just as a whole.
I mean,
So-
these are two guys who I think are going to go to the NFL.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, they
Yeah.
could have gone this year.
Yeah.
Right.
Easily.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's-
it's important to see guys like that coming back because, especially for younger players coming in, to have like veterans on a team like that is
Right.
incredibly important.
Sure.
And just like we were talking about with Khalil Shakir, how he left and
Yeah.
how we're just reloading, it's the same with Riley Wimpy
Yeah.
and Kala, and you know we still have a lot of the key defensive players who know the scheme. Who now we just have to plug in a piece. You know, of the guys who have been trained, who are ready
Absolutely.
to just step
Yeah.
in and
Yeah.
get ready to roll. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got some rapid fire questions for you.
all right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Andrew, if you want
I
to
guess
start
we
it
start. We're
off.
just gonna go question. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
do you have any pregame traditions?
I really don't. I'm not a very superstitious guy. I used to be in high school, but then I watched the Conor McGregor interview, and it changed my perspective. I mean, life's all about perspective. And when he said this, it just clicked with me. I don't know
Yeah.
why. So he was just like, man, like I don't have any superstitions or pregame this or that rituals. He was like, if you're not ready, you're not ready. You know, like when you prepare year round and when you put your all into everything and treat every practice, every rep, everything like it's your last, like it's that most important. It's true. Like when it comes to time, you're just ready. So like for me, I just listen to my music and I'm ready to roll. I put myself in a good headspace, vibe out, go out there, have fun, ball out.
So what's your favorite away stadium to play in?
Fresno State. And
Really?
the reason why is because that game was that was my first time there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And there's a pretty long walk to the field, but there's fans, their fans, right, on each side. They're just yelling at you, screaming, throwing popcorn, just acting a fool. You know, they're all drunk. They're all, you got
There was
little
fights.
kids.
My sister went to Fresno State, so I know the environment there.
Right, exactly. So, and then that atmosphere alone, like the music they're playing is California vibes. I love it. That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
And then like just, you know, like I said, just like you can feel the intensity, you know, once we step in there, they're red, we're blue. It's just a perfect rivalry.
Yeah.
So I mean, I loved that game. That was fun.
Yeah.
Okay, favorite pregame meal?
So every pregame we eat like pasta and chicken, right? You just want to get a little bit of energy, nothing too heavy, nothing heavy. So I just eat that, get a little chicken, get my noodles with no sauce, and then I just eat that just to get a little something.
Noodles with no sauce.
Yeah, I like my noodles. I mean, you
dry?
have like your little, you know, salt, seasoning, stuff like that. Then you have your green beans, and then my chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta get the green
Got
beans.
to.
Gotta
Gotta
get the
get
green
the
beans.
Funny,
veggies.
and Shaq's gonna kill me for saying this, but like him, he doesn't like to eat like before games. So
Really?
his superstition kind of is just like he eats a banana, drinks his Gatorade, has a little candy, and he's ready to
So is he like
Marshawn
munching
Lynch time,
after?
roll. No, yeah, he just does that and just snacks his little candy and then steps out on the field and balls out,
That is
and that's what he
funny.
loves.
Maybe
like,
he had like a really bad experience one time where he ate
yeah,
too much. And, like,
so I'll be eating and I'll look over at his plate. It's just a banana sitting on his plate and he has his little candies poured in his hand. I'm like, bro, are you serious?
That's
So is he
funny,
grubbing
dude.
after the game?
No, yeah, after the game he's eating, but I mean, pregame, that's his little ritual. I'm like, I love it.
That's
so
funny.
funny.
He's like,
That's
want some?
funny.
I'm like, no, we don't wait for me.
No, I'm good with my pasta.
All right. Favorite Boise State uniform?
My personal favorite combination is the white helmet, blue jersey, white pants.
Ooh, Ooh.
Okay.
I don't know. It's
Interesting.
something about that one I just love.
I like that.
I
yeah.
love the black jerseys.
Yeah,
The black
all
jerseys
black.
are
so clean.
Right.
They're slick.
Yeah.
So clean.
But that's fun. I liked how they started to do like different combos last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. It's fun.
All right, your favorite place to eat on campus?
Chick-fil-A.
Of course.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
Chick-fil-A is my favorite all time. My roommates can tell you, I come home with Chick-fil-A, I will eat it almost 3 times a day because they have
Yeah.
breakfast, you can
Yeah.
get your lunch, you can mix it up. I
Yeah.
love Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
Okay, in your opinion, what's the loudest section of Albertson Stadium?
See, I don't know, like, I would
Or
have
do
to-
you just hear it all?
Yeah, like when you're just out there, let alone playing on the field, and the play happens, it's just like ringing in your ears. Like it's
Yeah.
not a direction it's coming
Right.
from. It's just like vibrations all around you, and you feel the energy. It's crazy. I'm
Is
like,
is Bronco Stadium, Albertson Stadium, the loudest?
loudest stadium I've ever played in.
Really?
Loudest so
Wow.
far. Yeah, we even went to. I remember.
You guys went to UCF, didn't you?
Yeah, we went to
Yeah.
UCF. That was loud, but that game, it was such a far delay.
Oh,
And
yeah, I
it was, like,
forgot
the
about
weather was
that.
terrible, so
Right.
like a lot
Yeah.
of people left. It still was loud for
Right.
what it was, but it's not better. Like our atmosphere is unmatched. You
It's
know,
crazy.
Yeah, we went to Oklahoma State
Right.
a couple years back, and this was when I was very young, a redshirt freshman.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's going to be the loudest. So you see all those fans and everything, and I was like, oh, that was cool. Then we came back to the blue. I was like, yeah, this is way better. Like
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Recruits out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for
Yeah.
That's for
you.
you.
Yeah,
Come play at the
yeah.
best atmosphere in college
Yeah, it's
football.
crazy.
You've heard it
Yeah.
here
Gotta
first.
experience it.
Okay.
And then final question, is there any story behind choosing number 18?
Yeah, a little bit. So my birthday is June 18th.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, so 18 is kind of like my golden number because I turned 18 on 18th,
On 18th.
and I'm
Yeah.
graduation class of 2018 from
Okay.
high school.
So you're a little superstitious.
Right. I
18, baby.
Yeah, so I got that. So 18, that's kind of like my number. Yeah.
I like that.
That is
That's
fun.
cool.
Perfect.
So are we going to get into my favorite section?
Alex's favorite section.
My
Hot
favorite
takes.
Hot takes.
Perfect. So Billy's gonna join in on the hot takes this
Yes.
week, and we're super excited. Who wants to go first?
I can start again if you want.
I hate starting.
Okay,
I
I'll
don't
just
like
start. I'll start.
starting.
Like I said, you were gonna like this take
Okay.
early in the show.
He said it's one of
Jason
my things.
Tatum has proven himself to be a top 5 NBA player.
That's no doubt about it. I think so. And even people are speculating that he's better than Kevin Durant.
Well, that is what he surpassed in my list. I have
Whoa.
Giannis,
It's a
Okay.
huge conversation right now.
Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, LeBron, and then Jason Tatum at 5. I think on both ends of the court.
You can move up one.
I don't think he's not passing LeBron. If it was up to me, if it was up to me, I'd put LeBron at 2 because I still think you surround that guy
He
with the
averaged
right
30
players.
points
He's going
per
to the
game
finals.
as a
I don't care. I
37-year-old.
don't care.
Really?
I don't care. Okay, back to the discussion.
Particularly on a super
Jason,
team.
okay, with
you
Russell
kidding?
Westbrook.
Technically, they were supposed to be a
That-
super team.
Okay.
Yeah, if his guys
All
can
right.
stay on the court or play
Yeah,
and not throw it
exactly.
into the stands.
Okay,
Okay, anyway,
regardless.
Jason Tatum has, besides beating KD and everyone in
Yeah.
the moment is like, wow, like Jason Tatum is like that guy. Dude, he's been to the Eastern Conference Finals 2 out of the last 3 seasons.
absolutely.
And he's 24.
And also, Kevin Durant did say that Jason Tatum is the hardest player he's had to guard so far in
I
the
think
league.
you're probably right. I was a little skeptical when you first said it, but
It sounds kind of,
It
it's like, wait,
sounds
what? Like
bizarre.
Jason Tatum, top 5 player?
Not to me.
On both ends of the floor. He was beating KD on the offensive side, and he
Yeah.
was locking him up on defense, which shows like you're a two-way
Yeah.
player.
Absolutely.
So,
I kind of agree.
okay, there we go.
No, he's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, what he's proved in these last 3 years, he's proved, I think, to be one of the top 5 players. He also is such a leader on the court and off the court. I mean, every player on that team looks up to him. The fans absolutely love him.
Yeah.
He's huge for Boston. And it's not like when he came in, we had this like super amazing team. Like within the last probably decade, it's not like we've had like these like super players. You know what I mean? We've had a great team.
Yeah, I agree.
So he came in, and I think he's proving to be kind of this. I mean, him and Jaylen Brown also performs,
Jaylen Brown's good, but he's not on like.
but he
that
doesn't
level.
have that personality and kind of the like surround. I don't know.
I don't think
With
you need to
sports
have a
comes-
personality to be top 5. I mean, I don't think
No,
Nikola
but I think
Jokic
it comes
is like
with
the
it.
most like.
But
Yeah.
I think it comes with it. Being one of the top players in the league, you have to have that personality. You have to have this like kind of aura surrounding you, I think, because it's kind of opinions to fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess that could be a
Well,
hot
I guess
take
I
within
agree with
itself.
your hot take.
I'm glad you
take
agree. You
yourself.
agreed with my hot take last week and this week.
There you go.
All right.
I'm just agreeing. I can go. I'm gonna go next because mine's not like
Okay.
super hot.
Okay.
Mine's kind of like rule based, and it's kind of like more silly than like.
Let's
like
hear
silly.
it. Let's hear
Okay,
it.
it's a field goal in football. If it hits the crossbar or the uprights, should be worth 4 points.
What? That is ridiculous.
No, because it's more difficult to hit the crosses
But you're
than the
probably
uprights.
not trying to do that.
Yeah,
If the-
exactly. So like
Well,
it
then they
adds
would
another
start
element
trying,
because
they
if
would
the
start
kicker
trying.
tries to, then they could miss it. But if they get it, then it's 4 points. And like
I
if
kinda
you're like
understand what you're saying.
if you're like
Oh,
driving
no.
down the field and it's like
You need, you're
you
down
need
4 and you need to hit
don't
the.
have time for like.
Oh, dude, imagine
Do you
how
go for the
crazy
Hail Mary or do you go for
crowd
the-
would go if you hit
Because
the guy.
that's hard. Okay,
See?
well, but see, here's my problem. Here's my problem. Here's my problem with that, Christy. I played soccer my whole life.
Yeah.
Once you start to get really good, it's not like even in soccer, like I could probably hit the crossbar from very far away. Like it's not that hard once you get to a certain level to like hit the crossbar or especially the sides. Like
I don't know.
it's really
Question.
not.
Yeah.
If it hits it and then goes in, is that 7 points? Or are we still just talking
No,
four?
I think
no,
just
no.
4.
Just 4 max.
Got
four.
you.
Okay. That's
It would
fair.
But what if it
definitely add a
what if
different
it
element
hit
to
it?
it.
would-
What if it hit it and just shanked the other way?
That's fine. It just needs to hit it.
It just needs to hit. I don't know. That's tough. I think that's
something
really
that's
interesting.
Yeah,
not ever gonna happen.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's not gonna happen,
That's
obviously.
fine. I like
it's
it.
fun.
I like
Okay,
it. That's a
well,
good hot
You guys
take.
were so shocked initially.
Well,
and
I've
then
never
Yeah.
even thought about that.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
and
that's pretty creative
That's
of you,
creative for
Christy.
What
sure.
created for my last episode, you guys.
All right. Well, my hot take this
Right.
week. I think that the Dolphins are gonna pull a Cincinnati Bengals this season in the NFL.
Whoa.
No. Mm-mm. You're gonna go
I
to the
think
Super Bowl?
if Tua can play at the level in which he's
That
supposed
is
to be
the-
able to play at, yes,
That is
absolutely.
the biggest if.
But that's
though.
the question. That's what I mean. That's why it's a hot take.
Okay.
Well, they
Because
did
Tua,
get Tyreek
it's either
Hill.
and they've added a lot of additions to
But
that
dude,
team. Their
Tua-
offensive line is much better than it was last season. And if Tua can just
I think
play
Name
the
me an
way-
Alabama quarterback that's ever done good in the NFL. Seriously. Tua will not be that guy.
Hold on. Why can't I remember? Mac Jones is not doing horrible.
Mac Jones
Okay,
is playing
that
well.
is the one guy because he's on the Patriots. So I don't know.
Okay.
And he's a rookie, but so we'll see what that.
I
what
just
that
think
goes.
I think the Dolphins are gonna regret. They have. I
should've
think they
gotten
already
Herbert.
regret not picking Herbert
They
at
should have
5.
gotten Herbert.
Okay,
But-
Herbert.
If they
I
had
said it from the
Herbert-
beginning. Herbert's going to be one of the best guys in that class.
Absolutely, and I'm
I
so
think
glad
he
he's
is
my
the best
quarterback.
quarterback of that class. I said it from the beginning, and my dad and my brother looked at me. They're like, "What?" And I knew it. I was right.
Okay.
Anyways,
Regardless, I don't think Tua
I
is that
disagree
guy.
because I don't think Tua is that guy.
I don't think Tua's that
Same.
guy.
I'm
Same
saying
in
if he
that.
can be that guy.
From a football
I
player,
think-
what do
Yeah,
you think?
Billy, what's your?
It depends, because football is a team sport, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
he doesn't have to be that guy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but he can have those guys around him that make him better. You know
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I mean?
And
he can
obviously,
have,
I think the
Tyreek
addition of
Hill.
Tyreek Hill is going to add a higher intensity to that team
Right.
than they've ever had before.
And who
Right.
knows? Maybe bringing in a guy like Tyreek Hill who has championship experience,
Right.
like really like increases the level and the performance of this team, and
Yeah.
they kind of go, okay, this is where we need to be at
Yeah.
at that level. I don't see it
I
personally.
could see
but
it only happening if it was kind of like the Niners with Jimmy Garoppolo making it. Like Jimmy was a good quarterback,
He's not, but he's
that was,
not
but that,
great, and he'll
yeah,
never be
and-
great. But he's a.
But that's how I
think the
kind of
Niners
view the
won.
Tua situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of view it similarly. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, what's your hot take?
Okay, I don't know if I did this hot take thing right.
It's okay. I didn't do it
Because-
necessarily right the first time
Well, I
either.
brought like a topic, so
Okay,
it's not
that's
really
fine.
like a hot take. So
That's
okay, let's
I mean, I
hear.
guess I don't know. So
Okay.
it's more like, what do you guys feel about this?
Okay,
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 yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
that's
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the Antonio Brown leaving
Ooh.
the MetLife Stadium against
Yeah.
the Jets. Okay, so I'll just question: who do you
Yeah.
guys feel like is wrong or right? Whose side are you on? Really, coaches are, and I'll give you some context too.
So
'cause
your
I-
hot take could be what you think about that.
Right. So then, okay. So situation. All right, real quick.
'Kay.
Antonio Brown leaves the field in the third quarter
Yeah.
at the Jets stadium.
Uh-huh.
They're playing. They're down actually too. So Jets are up 24-10, and coach looks at him and says, hey, we need you. You know, you're a great player.
Yep.
We need you in there. We're trying to win. This is approaching playoffs.
Yep.
You know, seeds and everything is
Yeah.
home field advantage, all that matters.
Yeah.
You know, so then coach looks at him and tells him, hey, get in there. Antonio goes and tells him, hey, my foot, I physically can't. You know, and that's what I was talking about with the Ben Simmons situation earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then coach proceeds to tell him, well, get the F out of here.
Right.
Does this according to Antonio Brown's, you know, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Oh, yeah. So
Amazing.
Antonio Brown, he says, he drags his finger across his neck, says, get out of here. Get the F out of here, you're done. So that's when Antonio proceeds to take off his uniform, throw his stuff into the stands.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Yeah.
I'm out. Okay? Now, just a little
I love the
context,
setup.
right?
I love the
Yeah,
setup.
just a
I
little
like the
context.
setup.
Yeah,
Just a little
yeah.
context, okay?
Okay.
So Antonio Brown had this injury in week 6, okay? It is now week 16. So he's been out for 10 weeks for this injury.
Right.
Okay, but he says that he did, and he has the messages. He told coach prior to the game, you know, hey coach, the coach is aware of the situation,
Yep.
right? So
The
he
injury.
didn't practice the 2 practices leading up to the game,
Right.
so they're
Yeah.
fully aware of this situation.
Yeah.
And then the game happened, so everyone's on board and stuff with this. So
He had agreed to play the game.
right, and they traveled, so it's an away game. So he still, you know,
Right.
they only traveled a
Yeah.
certain amount. There's only
Yeah, a certain
53
amount.
on the roster, and
Right.
they only
Yeah.
traveled less than that. So
Yeah.
what are you guys thinking?
You know what? If it was
That's a
any
tough
other
one.
player, I would have said he's right. Like that's not. But he's proven himself. He's Hollywood.
There's a
Like,
history.
he's all about drama. Like if I was a team, it's not even worth picking him up. As good of a player as he is, it's not worth it because he's all drama. Everything about the guy is drama, and to me, it's almost like he tries to get views for himself. Like I don't know, make a reality TV show if that's what you want.
Okay.
Well,
Like-
I think it goes back to like what you said at the beginning about like if I'm there for my team, like I need to be there for my team, and if there's any possibility of me playing, I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
And I just don't
Especially
think
if you agreed to play the game in the first place.
that's what I'm saying. So the other question about this situation is, were those text messages like people were like, are they fabricated? Like you could Photoshop that so easily.
I don't
like,
know with him. That's the thing you don't know with him.
don't
He's
know.
not a reliable guy. I was surprised that they had even picked him up in the first place. I thought, okay, maybe with Tom Brady, he's gonna get his crap together a little bit. But
Well, they won a Super Bowl with him.
absolutely, and
So,
I
I
thought,
don't know.
But
That's a
it's
tough
just he has a
situation.
history. This is a common pattern for the guy. Like I said, like
Also,
literally,
like-
if this is how you want to act, make a reality TV show for yourself.
I will say that if we're saying like, are we on coach's side or Antonio Brown's side?
Right.
Like Bruce Arians, like there's some questionable stuff happening there. Like he
Right.
just
Ain't
stepped
the coach
down.
anymore.
Tom Brady,
Right.
like so
Yeah.
what's the story
You know?
there? Like I don't know.
I think it really depends on who's lying and who's telling the truth. Because if he
Exactly.
really was injured, he's like, coach, like I can't go, and he's like, God, like and
Yeah.
does that, then it's like, okay, it's kind of on the
Yes.
coach. But
but the way
if
he
it was
walked off the field and
Okay.
all
If it
that,
was-
that's what's the drama.
That's
with him.
what I don't support, and it depends on the first half because I heard reading stories like the first half because he was a couple catches away from like the incentives where you get an
Incentives.
extra million or whatever because he had to earn his money that way. That like Tom wasn't throwing in the ball, so he was all like pouting. Like
Right.
so if it's like that, and then that's why I didn't want to go in the game, then I support Bruce Arians. So it depends on who's telling the truth, who's lying.
Right.
What's your take?
And like I was saying, like from human perspective, right, just person perspective, it's fishy because like you said,
Yeah.
like it doesn't know
Yeah.
who's
You
right,
do-
who's wrong. We don't
exactly.
have
Right.
all the
Yeah.
concrete details
Right.
and who's truly like to say what, you know,
Yeah.
but from athletes' perspective and just like professionalism, I do think he could have handled the situation
Oh my God,
differently.
yeah. Yeah.
Everybody is their own person, right? And he felt disrespected on a high level, you know,
Yeah.
having the coach tell him that. He felt betrayed. He was like, I don't want to wear your logos. I don't want to represent you. If you're going to talk to me and treat me like that, I'm a human too at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
And AB even claimed, he said, like, you know, it's all about integrity and handling things the right way. That's what he said as a statement. He felt like he was disrespected. So he was like, you know what? I'm out here then.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So,
The only thing is like
It's just the
he
way
didn't
he
handle it the
handles
right way,
things.
and then he goes and handles it the wrong
wrong
way.
way.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
And
Right,
listen,
that's
like I said, like
controversial.
if this was the first time something had ever happened with him like this, like that's completely different.
Okay.
He's like, I feel disrespected in this moment. I need to stick up for myself. But this
Right.
this has happened on a
We've got
number of
Steelers,
occasions.
Raiders,
Yeah.
Patriots.
Like this guy has a history of just, I feel like disrespecting the sport. Like I've been an athlete for almost my whole life.
Right.
College is the first time I'm not. I still play club, but like it's just like, as an athlete, doing that disrespects your sport as a whole. Like you just don't do that.
Well, I still think he's going to get picked up.
I
I think the Ravens need him
I
now.
think
They
he
just
is too. I
traded
know,
They
Hollywood.
traded Hollywood, so they need
did?
Hollywood.
Yeah, the
They
Cardinals
traded him
are-
last night.
To the Cardinals.
And Lamar's on Twitter like
Yeah, what the
WTF,
Yeah.
you know, like
And
he was pissed.
There was some questionable things that happened last night.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a
Wow.
whole
The
other
draft was
conversation. But
little-
yeah, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one, though.
Yeah.
That was good. That was good.
I like the way he set that up.
Yeah,
just
giving
a
some
little
context.
backstory.
Love that.
Thanks.
That's sick.
All
we got
right, are we
now?
ready to move into our 2-minute drill?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're gonna do our 2-minute drill. This week it's gonna be a 3-minute drill.
Yeah. So
Because a little different because we have our special guest here. So Alex, Andrew, and I are going to debate each other, and Billy's going to decide who is winning this week. So instead of a 2-minute drill, we've got a 3-minute drill this week, and we are doing the greatest franchise in sports history.
Okay.
it's gonna be hard because I feel like we're all gonna be talking over each other. Should we? I don't know. It's gonna be hard. Like maybe.
It's got to be chaos. That's the
That's
that's
the
the
point.
entertainment
Okay,
I'll be
program.
like the
Entertainment value.
mediator too. To
Yeah.
Christy, watch out! I might give you one of these this week.
Nope.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Who?
And then I'll start
maybe,
a timer.
Maybe we have Andrew start.
Sure,
Oh
I will
well,
start.
let's first. So I'm doing the Celtics. Christy's doing the Lakers, and
The
Andrew's
New
doing
England
the
Patriots,
Yeah.
yes.
So we got 2 basketball, 1 football.
on football.
I don't know
Okay.
why
Ready?
no one argued for the Yankees, but
Uh,
okay. Ready?
ready, set, go.
As big of a basketball fan as I am, it is harder to win a Super Bowl than it is to win an NBA championship. It's very similar to March Madness style, where one game you lose, you're out. To go all the way to the Super Bowl and dominate in the modern era, not when we were, not even born.
Yeah.
2002, 2004, 2005, 2015, 2017, 2019. 6 championships,
All with who?
all with Tom Brady and Bill
And then what
Belichick.
happens
But
when
what is
Tom
it?
Brady leaves?
Exactly.
They're
They
gonna
stop
go
winning.
again.
Their
Just give it
franchise.
time.
Their
Just give it
franchise
time.
is Tom Brady.
Just give it
you.
time. I don't want to.
No.
No. I don't want to hear it.
I'm gonna go. I'm going. Here we go. Let's start off with the fact that the Lakers actually technically only have. The Los Angeles Lakers only have 12 championships.
It's the same
The-
franchise
no,
if we're
would
talking
you
about
consider
franchise.
the Seattle Supersonics the Oklahoma
Absolutely,
City
I
Thunder?
would.
No, no one in sports does that.
It's the same
Celtics
franchise.
Celtics have 17 championships. Boston, which is about 23% of all NBA titles, might I add. Also,
They don't have 23 championships? You
Said
said
17
sorry.
about
17. And how many have you won since 2000?
one.
See?
Okay.
One.
Hey, you're not supposed to. Okay. 19. Also, we have one of arguably the best teams in history of NBA with who do we have? We have Bird, McHale, Parrish, Johnson, and Ainge.
You could say that about so many
no,
Laker teams.
This is
No, okay.
okay. Go, Christy.
Okay, so the Lakers have the highest win percentage all time of any sports team in history. 619 win percentage of any sports team in history. The reason they are better than the Celtics is because their championships, 17 of them, which is the same, are spread out over a longer period of time. The Celtics had a chunk of time where they were winning a few years in a row, which when the league was less competitive, there was less competition.
Less competitive. This is when Magic Johnson
No,
was there.
literally,
Larry
no,
Bird.
before 57, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. Before Larry Bird, before Bill Russell.
11 championships in 13 years. Do
Okay,
you know
but
how hard
that's
that is? 8
the
in
speak
a
that
row.
they're
8 in a row.
their
That will
success-
There
never
was like
happen
8 teams
ever
in the
again.
league
Their
at the
success
time.
That will
is not
never happen
long-term.
ever again.
It's not.
Might I add, the Celtics have 36 players in the Hall of Fame, and the Lakers only have 23.
Okay, but when we're talking about best players in the league, you're gonna put
Larry
Kareem,
Bird.
You're gonna put Magic, you're gonna put Kobe, you're gonna put Shaq, you're gonna put literally so many, and you could put Larry Bird and Bill Russell on there. I think it's the Lakers. Their success is over a longer period of time, and it's when the league got more competitive. I don't think you can argue that the league got more
Okay,
competitive
all I gotta say, my
over
last
time.
point. You can say that Tom Brady is the franchise, but he dominated
Not
in
the
an
franchise,
era.
dude.
You can say that, but he's not.
3, 2, 1.
One. That was like a Christy and I debate.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You didn't win.
Yeah. You guys both, well, all three, had good points, but I'm at the
Hey, I wanted to argue.
He
I know.
did. He
All right.
wanted to go.
I
with
wanted
the
to go
Lakers.
Lakers.
You
I
should have
would've
gone
killed the
Yankees. You would have
Lakers.
killed both of us if you went
No.
Yankees.
No. Yeah, you.
So
Maybe,
Pats-
I guess.
Pats are out. But you guys both had really good points, and I'm gonna have to go with the Lakers
Yes.
because she's like.
I'm happy with that.
You got to think too. As time goes on, the game revolutionizes, right?
Yeah, but I
it
still
continues
think that
to evolve. So you
Still
got to think
think
like
NBA stars
those guys
now.
paved the way, but the younger generations are the ones who keep it
Continue
evolving, right?
it.
You can't kind of compare, and I'm not a huge like generation comparison because the game's constantly moving
Right.
on, but it's like since more recent, right?
Yeah.
6
the
championships
Celtics-
since 2000.
Yeah, 6 years.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I know that
my-
that's fair, but might I add that when we had, I think one of the best teams when we had Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett.
They won
and,
one championship.
Yes, and within 3 of those years, Kevin Garnett and also Kendrick Perkins were hurt constantly, and those were 2
And
of
you
their
couldn't say the
starting
same
five.
about
Right.
any of the other players. Like, players deal with injuries all the time. The team needs to be able to, like, as a franchise and as a team, you need to be able to make up for those losses.
Well, I think we're going into the era now where the
How many
Celtics
years
are
was
gonna
Kobe
dominate
Bryant
again.
on those
What I would have said,
Yeah,
the
Celtics
game,
are
the easiest thing that I would have said for the Lakers is like, dude, the top 5 players of all time.
All time are
5
Lakers.
So.
What are you talking about? The top 5
Kareem,
players of all time:
LeBron.
Michael Jordan,
Wilt,
Okay, 4 out of 5.
Kobe.
Larry Bird.
4 out
is
of 5.
easily
Not
in
top
the
5.
top
Larry agrees.
Oh my
Larry
God.
Bird
Larry
is not
Bird
top
is
5
not
all
Larry
top
time.
Bird is
five.
not top 5.
Not top 5 all time.
Okay.
No.
okay.
Okay, I'm sorry, I disagree. I think
No,
Larry Bird is top 5.
Absolutely
He's
not.
not top 5 all time.
Bro, no.
No.
Yes.
Definitely not.
Okay, I
Okay.
think you might be the only person that would put him in your top.
No.
Top 5? No. Like the Mount Rushmore of basketball?
Larry Bird is in the top 5.
No. No. Okay. Well,
Okay. Well,
That's
I won.
another
I'll take
debate
my
for
last
another
for my last
day.
episode. I'll take my
probably going to lead
win.
into off
So
camera.
I still won
Okay.
though.
No, I won.
No, I'm saying I still won the whole
Oh, do you have
points
3?
debate. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Alex
We'll
won
have
the
to go
season.
back because I saw some comments that were rooting for me on,
No.
Oh god.
and those overtake.
We were like, not the Patriots.
All right.
Okay.
So unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for today. Tell us who you think is the greatest franchise in sports history in the comments.
And this is our last show of the school year, and we couldn't thank all of you enough at home for tuning in each episode. This is also my last Beyond the Whistle episode, as well as I am graduating this semester. And I couldn't be more grateful to have spent my senior year with this Beyond the Whistle team.
And finally, we couldn't do this without our producer and crew. So to each of them, as always, we send our gratitude. I'm Andrew.
I'm Christy Epstitz.
And I'm Alex East. Join us next time on Beyond the Whistle for all your sports news needs.